Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Defense Secretary James Mattis has resigned. I'm Mark Liverman, and I'll tell you why the departure has shaken leaders from both sides of the aisle on Capitol Hill.
And time is running out. If you'd like your Christmas presents to arrive by Christmas.
Christmas is this year.
Yeah,
you got
this
lots
year.
of time if you're waiting for next year.
Yes.
Anytime 6:30 here on this Friday. Our top story this half hour. Defense Secretary James Mattis has resigned, citing differences of viewpoints with the president.
CBS's News' Mark Liverman has more on the sudden departure that has shaken up Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill.
Secretary James Mattis is out, turning in this resignation letter to the president that included, quote, "Because you have the right to have a Secretary of Defense whose views are better aligned with yours, I believe it is right for me to step down from my position." The move comes just one day after the president announced his plans to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. Both sides of the aisle are raising concern about Mattis's sudden departure.
Everything that indicates stability, everything that indicates strength, everything that indicates knowledge is leaving this administration. There is chaos now in this administration.
Republican Senator Marco Rubio tweeted this after reading Mattis's resignation letter. Quote, "It makes it abundantly clear that we are headed towards a series of grave policy errors which will endanger our nation, damage our alliances, and empower our adversaries." Soon after his resignation, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders defended the relationship between Mattis and President Trump.
They agree to disagree at times, but that doesn't mean you can't have a good relationship with somebody.
President Trump tweeted a thank you to Mattis for his service. He went on to write that a new Secretary of Defense would be named shortly. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Wow, a lot more to follow on this. General Mattis says he is staying on through February to give the president some time to pick a successor. His last day will be February 28th.
So the very last day. Yeah, he's staying on
last
clear
day.
to the end of February.
That's right.
That's it. More to follow on that coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS this morning. I used the term earlier. We had winter came in fast and furious because it threw a bunch of snow, and now it's not too bad.
It was like a snow globe.
It's not too bad. It was a snow globe at the front door.
It really was,
great.
yeah.
It was good.
So fast and furious, it looked like a snow globe, and we also dropped 11.5 degrees.
Yes, we did.
In
That's
45 minutes here
That's
at the
true.
studio.
Yeah, it was a
So
little chill.
that was impressive, and your pun was impressive too.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
was.
That's one this week.
Yes.
Yeah, but we still do have a winter weather advisory out for southwest Montana for a little more additional accumulating snow, and that snow could blow around as well because we are expecting gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour. A little bit of activity to our southeast, but we're starting to see a clearing trend, which is certainly good news. However, the damage is done on Homestake and Bozeman Pass. They are reporting some snow and ice-packed roads, and same story in Gallatin Canyon between Gallatin Gateway and West Yellowstone. Butte, the snow has stopped there for now. Temperatures are going to struggle, though. That 30 degrees you see there, that's the warmest it's going to get for the rest of this day. And similar story at Montana State University. We finally got the ice melted off the ICAM, which is good news. But again, it's going to be relatively icy on and off throughout the day because temperatures will just get above that freezing mark this afternoon. Now we'll talk about your full Christmas Eve and Christmas Day forecast coming up in a few minutes. Chet Missy.
Thanks, Carson. 6:33. This one's a little bit too hard to believe, but it turns out all flights in and out of Britain's second busiest airport suspended for almost 30 hours after at least one drone was spotted hovering over the airfield.
This is an interesting one. CBS's Roxana Saberi is just outside London with more on the holiday chaos.
Long lines stretched through the terminals at London's Gatwick Airport as flights were canceled or delayed because of drone sightings.
With no idea when we're going to fly.
All passengers could do was wait as police played an irritating game of cat and mouse.
Each time we believe we get close to the operator, the drone disappears. When we look to reopen the airfield, the drone reappears. So I'm absolutely convinced it's a deliberate act to disrupt Gatwick Airport.
Nearly 800 flights have been delayed or canceled. Some planes are heading to U.S. airports, including Los Angeles and New York.
These are some of the thousands of people who have been stranded here. It's just 5 days before Christmas, and many of them are frustrated, tired, and just want to get to their destinations.
It's my daughter's birthday today, so it's gone all wrong, and we've been looking forward to this for so long.
A little bit stressful, but if we get there before Christmas, then everything's fine.
Authorities won't shoot down the drone or drones because of the danger of stray bullets. Flying a drone near an airport in the UK is illegal and punishable by up to 5 years in prison. British police say they don't suspect terrorism, but extremist groups have threatened to use drones as weapons. And that's something aviation and security officials have long feared happening at airports around the world. Roxana Saberi, CBS News, London.
Wow, about 110,000 passengers are expected to pass through Gatwick Airport today on one of the busiest travel days of the year.
Back here at home, Belgrade police involved yesterday morning in a high-speed chase through town. Officials say a 32-year-old man did not yield at an intersection on Airport Road, was about to be pulled over when he sped away. Police chased the car at speeds of up to 90 miles per hour. He's finally stopped outside of Oak Gardens. Man got out of his car, ran on foot before being arrested by police. He had 2 outstanding warrants, one from Broadwater and one from Gallatin County, concerning a DUI and drug offenses. Passenger also taken into custody, but was later released.
And a Bozeman man charged with trafficking meth was sentenced to 3 years in prison and 5 years probation. 49-year-old Michael Arnold Delac pleaded guilty to the charge. During 2018 and 2017, Delac was tracked by federal agents as he brought meth from Denver to Montana. He was eventually arrested near Columbus by Montana Highway Patrol. And tribal and federal authorities are asking for the public's help after a pair of grizzly bear shootings. The Confederated Salish Kootenai Tribes and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service are looking for information on the shooting of a female grizzly near the Mobies Valley, and that happened near October 12th. The bear was found shot to death in a field. Wildlife officials were notified on November 19th of another injured grizzly bear with a large wound in his face near St. Ignatius. The female grizzly was located, captured, and later euthanized because of the extent of her injuries. The body was taken to the Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks Lab in Bozeman, where examination revealed the bear had been shot in the face with a close-range bird shot. Now, both female grizzlies showed signs that they had cubs this year.
Shifting gears just a bit, the busiest shipping day of the season, Monday of this week, but yesterday and today, the busiest days for deliveries. MTN's Patrice Parks checks with a couple local businesses on the mad dash before the holiday.
FedEx, the post office, and local shipping businesses are all experiencing their busiest week of the season.
So far this last week, we've been averaging about 350 people a day through here. It's been a typical Christmas. A little bit smaller packages than normal, but other than that, it's just been Christmas at its best.
Asbel says out of 5,500 UPS stores in the nation, this store here in Bozeman is the third busiest.
And corporate's always saying, what do you do in Bozeman? How do you do it? And we just tell them, get the customer in and out as quick as possible, do it with a smile on your face, and do your best job.
On the south side of town, Postal Annex is experiencing a similar level of activity.
I think people were a little thrown off by the extra week between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, so we saw a lot of people who thought they had more time than they did, and it led to a pretty busy week this week, especially Monday.
Friday is the deadline if you need a gift to arrive by Christmas. Both store owners have some tips for you if you happen to be sending out a last-minute package.
Have them addressed, address labels on the box. We ask them to fill out forms for us. That's so we can hear and get the address correct. Make sure you have phone numbers for them, because the drivers and, if they have a problem with the address, because it's a stressful time, people transpose numbers and everything. If they have a phone number, they'll try and call them and make sure they're getting the packages to the right address.
Planes tend to leave Bozeman early because we are at the end of FedEx and UPS's distribution networks. So the shipping cutoffs for next day services are 4 at almost all places in town. So 4 is the end of your day. Don't wait until after work.
In Bozeman, Patrice Parks for MTN News.
Some very helpful tips there.
Only one person does same-day delivery this time of year. Santa.
Santa.
That's it.
I was like, who?
Santa.
Of course, Santa.
Big red guy.
Of course, Santa.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if you have waited until the very last minute to shop for your friends and your family on your list, there is some time to give the great gifts of tech.
That's right. In our Tech Minute, CNET's Kara Saboy reports on the best gifts for procrastinators this holiday season.
Procrastinated on your holiday shopping? Don't worry. Here are some great online subscription ideas for all tastes and budgets. For audiophiles, consider a streaming music service. Spotify offers a huge music library and a wealth of features, and plans start at $9.99 per month. Video enthusiasts would love a Netflix subscription. Original shows like The Crown, Stranger Things, and Ozark will create a binge watcher out of anyone. Plans range from $8 to $14 a month. But don't rule out the all-encompassing Amazon Prime. For $119 a year, members get access to Prime Video and Prime Music in addition to free shipping. FabFitFun is a great subscription box for those interested in beauty, wellness, and fashion. One box is $50. For a year is discounted to $180. Each shipment comes with a selection of beauty products, accessories, and home goods. And finally, don't forget the kids. KiwiCo delivers science and art projects to make at home for 7 different age groups. Subscriptions start at $20 a month. For more great ideas, visit the CNET Gift Guide Roundup of 2018 on CNET.com. In San Francisco, I'm Cara Suboy with CNET for CBS News.
Some helpful tips there.
Absolutely. For those of us who procrastinate.
Yes, there's a few of us out there. Yeah. It is time for a quick break coming up. Are you getting worried about feeling and getting older? Doctors say it's simple enough. Get out and move. That story when we return.
But first, we're going to head to New York, check in with Gail King, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS This Morning, concerns grow about U.S. military strategy after Defense Secretary James Mattis announces his resignation. Former Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Sandy Winnefeld, explains the broader implications of Mattis' departure. And Anna Warner reveals whether you can trust those pop-up Instagram ads that promise big discounts on high-priced items. We'll see you 7 o'clock on the dot.